Welcome, everybody. This is our podcast, Mitote Talks, and we have another interesting chapter for you. I'm here with my mates,
Mario?
Carlos?
Ceci.
And Alfredo.
and I am Victor, and the chapter of today is Guadalupe Reyes in a nutshell. Well, we're gonna talk about the holidays and their origins and some festivities. To talk about the birth of Jesus Christ is to celebrate an event or a person who exact date and the time is unknown for us.
Indeed.
But why we celebrate December 25th? Well, this was because in the during the Roman Empire, we had well, they had a divided civilization, a divided society, because there were two religions that were very popular at the Roman Empire. So Emperor Constantino decided that there was a festivity related to the solstice of winter. This festivity was to the unconquered sun. Um, this festivity celebrated while was the darkest day. So instead of Mithraism, the god Mithra was celebrated this day. They imposed Jesus Christ to declare the Christianism as a official religion in Rome. So that's why we celebrate the 25th of December, not exactly by the birth of Jesus Christ. So this becomes Jesus Christ an anachronic character of the history.
Very interesting.
I see. Well, Victor, I think that another thing worth mentioning about the many myths regarding Jesus Christ is how, despite the lack of direct biblical or historical references, many theories about his appearance were created. The more mainstream one, or theological perspective, that was expressed by many bishops of the Catholic Church, was that Jesus must have been ideally beautiful in both body and face. The reasoning being that he must have embodied every possible human perfection. This has obviously drawn concerns about the depiction of Christ and how it is used to uphold notions of white supremacy. Even going as far as saying that we're stealing part of the culture of the Middle East countries by upholding this notion of Jesus Christ.
Well, do you know that the Virgin of Guadalupe is also a symbol brought by the colonizers to impose Catholicism in Mexico?
Really?
Yes, sadly it is. Because so many people in Mexico call it Tonantzin, but Tonantzin and the Virgin Guadalupe was two different things. First, Tonantzin was a Mexica's goddess.
Goddess.
And, well, the Virgin Guadalupe is inspired in the Virgin of Extremadura, Spain, which is where the place when Cortés was born. And also, you know that in an indigenous man called Marcos Zipac de Aquino was the first who painted the original Virgin of Guadalupe, who has a really different things that like a crown that we don't see today. Also, there's important to mention that Fray Juan de Zumárraga didn't write anything about the miracle that he
So
boast to presence it. So, according to the myth, he was the Papa,
Pope.
Pope,
The Pope?
the
Yeah.
Pope who witnesses the miracle, and also there is no mention in any historic paper about um, about Juan Diego, who was the main character of the myth.
the history, the appearance, the first appearance
Of the
Virgin
fairy tale.
of Guadalupe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when we analyze these anachronical events and the Eurocentristic view, we can develop our historical consciousness. But what does it mean? Because historical consciousness is to build relations of time, and based on that relations, we can understand and get through the history. We by knowing our stage in history, we can develop our future, because another thing we want to develop with historical consciousness is the capability of self-analysis of ourselves, um, because we are not just people. We have a past, a history, roots in the past, and a future, a legacy to bring to the others. So we have to be conscious about the place we are and the time we are. In school, as teachers, we are supposed to improve that historical consciousness in our students. And one strategy for that is to see history as a problem in classroom.
Right?
Yes, I totally can relate. Now, there are many discrepancies throughout the history of mankind, and it is more than normal, due to the error is what makes us human.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
however, continuing to make these kind of mistakes frequently is what does not allow us to advance as a society. So, by this way, we mean that if our people were more hermeneutic, they will not have to suffer for this enemy that has accompanied us since time immemorial, the disinformation. Therefore, by being more hermeneutic, in tune with hermeneutic, and reading more things that post in social media like Facebook or Instagram,
Yeah.
we could stop being slaves. This is very important. Slaves of Eurocentrism and anachronisms, and thus have a better understanding of the world around us. And that's it.
For example, you were mentioning about the the social media. One last thing before we go. Uh, Not all the content is bad or or in unexact, but we have to know where is the real source of the information that we are consuming.
Exactly.
So that's the last advice that
We can
we
say to you, to the
exactly.
viewers.
One last words from my mates.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us. We appreciate that.
Well, I just have to thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much for listening to my words.
It has been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So this was Mitote Talks with another chapter, and we wait for you for another
Episode.
chapter, another episode the next week. Thank you very much.
Bye.